The problem or a challenge with these kinds of competitions is that many people are going to be entering. So I think in total it's been about 16,000 people who enter like all of the different essay competitions. Obviously, not all of them are going to be applying for history, and not all of them are going to be answering this specific question on music. However, does this mean that so other people are going to be answering this question? It's not just you. So it's important to think about how you can make your argument slightly different to theirs and how you can make yours as unique as possible. And this kind of uniqueness is integral really to academia because if everyone was saying the same thing in academia, every single historian had the same argument to be making, there would be no point in having history writing. There would be no point in having people publish books, being paid to publish books. And this is just something that you should bear in mind because as you progress throughout your career, for example, if you do apply to Oxbridge or you do end up doing a history degree, it's important to be unique. So these are the arguments. So you can see here how many potential arguments you make. And I would encourage you all to write down 5 potential arguments. And you can even change one word per argument. You could say that, for example, music was highly significant in changing the course of history because you could say music was somewhat significant in changing the course of history. And with this structure, you need to make sure you have a because statement. And coming up with this argument, I think, has always been for me and for most of my classes at Cambridge, the most difficult part of answering the question. And of course, it's going to be the most difficult part because this needs to be the real clincher. You need to be able to summarize your argument within the space of 2 to 3 sentences. So having a structure like yes, because, however, is quite helpful. And in this context, I think it's very helpful for you all to have about 3 different potential arguments that you are going to make here, or 5 different arguments, because then you'll actually end up thinking, oh, actually, I don't agree with this specific thing. I agree only with this one. And you almost have to reason inside your head why you would agree with one argument and not the other argument. And in doing so, I think this will build up your ability to say, oh, this argument is actually a lot better. And this is because of this. So before doing so, let's turn back to what we looked at in the first video and think about how we could analyze this now that we have more historical context and examples. So the question is, has music ever significantly changed the course of history? So a lot of the key terms are, what is music? Has music ever changed the course of history? When does change become significant? Is there a certain degree or a certain point at which change becomes significant? And what is the course of history? So these are important answers, and I think you should try and come up with a 1 sentence response to them. So you could say something like, what is music? Music is an auditory form of art, sometimes with music, sometimes with lyrics, which appears as a melody, which has a tune, etc.